Well, now we know why they call Kasparas Jakucionis the ghost, and it's because you can barely see him out there on the basketball court. I mean, to put it nicely, I thought he had a very quiet game too, but to put it a little bit more meaner, I thought he sucked. No, I'm just joking. Listen, it's overreaction season. It's only game 2. There's only so much that we can actually analyze. And yes, Kasparas struggled today. The shot wasn't quite there. He had the turnover issues. These are some of the same concerns that we heard about from him coming out of college. But again, it's so early on. Like, he hasn't had a chance to work on those yet, and I'm sure he'll get better once he works with the Heat development staff more and gets some more of these reps under his system. Plus, I do think that he actually did some nice things today. I thought he was very solid defensively. I thought he made some nice reads, and I think he hustled his ass off. And I respect the hell out of him for that, because a lot of guys, if their shot's not falling or they're struggling out there, they will not try defensively. And Kasparas was truly all over the place, whether it was crashing the offensive glass, just being a pest on the defensive end. So I kind of respect his performance today, although he kind of did struggle overall. But we're going to analyze the game. Just please keep into context that it's only game 2. I understand that. So just because I'm sharing my opinion doesn't mean it's my final opinion. I run a Miami Heat commentary channel. I'm going to talk about what I saw in the game. And of course, my opinion is going to change over time as we get some more game film. That's just how it works. Like, Twitter was funny today because I saw Heat vs. Haters, for example. A lot of people were tweeting their thoughts, but Heat vs. Haters tweeted out something like, either the Heat don't trust Kasparas yet or they don't know how to use him. And then somebody responded saying, oh, how can you have that opinion? It's only game 2. And it's like, it's true. Like, Kasparas didn't really get a lot of on-ball reps. We believe, as the ignorant fan, that he should be playing the main primary ball handler as the point guard, but maybe the Heat don't believe so. Maybe they know more than us, or maybe they don't know how to use him yet. Like, they're still learning how to play him as well. So you can have that opinion early on. It's like, it's game 2. Just because it's early doesn't mean you can't have an opinion. That's just my overall point. But anyways, I did believe actually coming into this game that Kasparas would get more of an opportunity just because the Heat were missing some guys. They gave Kira Lewis, they gave Rashad Johnson, Pelle Larsson, gave those guys the day off on the second day of a back-to-back. So I was kind of excited to see some more Kasparas run. We also surprisingly did get Kel'el Ware today. I thought he was going to be a lock to sit, but I guess the Heat didn't love what they saw from him in the first game, so decided to let him get some more run today. And again, like the first game, the numbers really didn't jump out at you on the box score, but I'm not worried about that. Like, I saw enough game film last year of Kel'el Ware as a rookie to believe that he's going to be a good player. So he's just out there in summer league trying things. He hit a 360 spinning dribble 3-pointer today. Like, he's just trying things. Does a lot of times it looks like he doesn't want to be there? Yes, it does. But I think that's just his overall personality. I just don't think he's a high. I think he tries hard. I just don't think he shows it a lot, at least on the exterior. So, yeah, Kel'el Ware's numbers weren't great today, but he was active defensively. He was okay. But anyways, we'll jump right into the first quarter here. We'll talk about some plays that stood out to me throughout the game. It was the very first play of the game where Kasparas was low-key kind of getting clamped, had some trouble getting past his defender. This was a big concern about his that we heard when he was coming out of college. We heard that he always needs a screen to get that dribble penetration. So I didn't love that the first play of the game, we saw him be the primary ball handler, and he was getting clamped. That led to Bronny getting a steal, who just had a breakaway jam. I thought Bronny actually played pretty good today in his limited minutes, so shout out to him. In regards to Kasparas, though, the spacing on that play was kind of bad, too. So, yeah, he had trouble beating by his defender, but that's because there was a lot of help defense on the left side because there was 2 Heat players there kind of close together. So, there's just a lot you have to keep into account when talking about Kasparas' turnovers. I actually think he's a guy that might play better when he's in the actual Heat team just because his teammates are better. There's more of an offensive system to put into place. Yes, the defense is also better on the NBA level, but so are your teammates. And as a guy who we look at as more of a facilitator who needs space, I think that's something that's really going to help out Kasparas a lot. But he did follow that up with some pretty nice effort plays on the ensuing defense possession. He actually switched 3 times to guard the on-ball player. So I like that he was using some of his size and defensive versatility there. Had a really nice hustle play where he saved an air ball, followed it with a great pass to Kel'el Ware, who missed the layup. So he was hustling out there. There was a lot of plays like that today. Then the following possession, he got his pocket picked by Bronny again. So a lot of turnovers today, but we'll get into the box score later and talk a little bit more about each of these players. Then finally, with 5 minutes to go in the first quarter, we saw my guy, Dane Danger, check into the game. He was immediately taken to the perimeter on defense and was cooked. You know, that's probably his biggest weakness is that lateral quickness. But then he did have a great steal and just monster slam. Really showed that hustle and heat culture that we talked about in our Dane Danger deep dive. That's kind of a tongue twister. Dane Danger deep dive a couple of videos ago. And overall, he was really awesome today in his first game because he did not play last game. So I thought he was pretty good today. Another great play by Kasparas. Had a near steal in the passing lanes. As a guy who you don't talk about as being super quick or super long wingspan, does have a positive wingspan. I think he's 6'5" with a 6'8" wingspan. But you don't look at him as having like the tools to be a defender. So seeing him get in the passing lanes to make plays defensively, that's just all hustle. You know, even I did a film breakdown of Kasparas a couple videos ago, and he was blocking guys' shots from behind. That's hustle. That's just pure hustle. And there's a lot of that from Kasparas today. So I do want to be a little bit more optimistic in our view of him after today's game, because a lot of people will look at the box score and talk about the negative, and I just feel like there's a little bit more to it than that. Maybe that's just me trying to cope and praying that we didn't draft a bust, but we'll see. It's game 2, so I'm not gonna call him a bust and at least be serious about it. But overall, the Lakers defense was really just great. So kind of got to give them some credit on that end too. The Heat had trouble inbounding all day pretty much. And they were actually down 6 at the end of the first quarter. Then in the second quarter, that's where you got that Kel'el Ware spin dribble, pull up 3, nothing but nets. He was looking pretty, he was feeling himself out there a little bit. Kasparas had a dove on the floor for a loose ball. So another hustle play for him. Then he had an awful turnover where this time he was just dribbling up court and lost the ball. Almost no defensive pressure that time. So that one was a little bit concerning to me. But then on the following defensive end, he was actually playing some full court press, picking up the Lakers defender. Yes, they called a foul on Kasparas, but I do like that energy and effort to pick up 94 feet. Like, that's a dude who's trying to get it back on the defensive end. I respect the hell out of him for that. I do. And you could tell his teammates like him too. That same defensive play, you could hear the bench yelling, or someone on the bench was yelling, "Get him, Cass!" So, like, you could tell his teammates like him. They respect the hustle, and yeah, just more great hustle. Kel'el Ware, then to end the quarter with about a minute to go, played a game. Monster slam. I'm talking definition of a poster. He caught a lob and caught a body on that. So it's funny that this Heat Summer League team throws better lobs than the actual Heat team. But maybe Kasparas can be that guy for Ware, although those two didn't get to connect today either. But the Heat were still down 13 at halftime. Then going into the third quarter, Kasparas Jakucionis, this time pestering the offensive player, drew an offensive foul as the guy chicken wing hooked him off of him. So another great hustle play by Cass there. But then Kasparas had yet another turnover, trying to force a pass to a cutter going backdoor. So I think that one was a nice read. Just bounced the ball a bit too high. But it's like, okay, he forced a couple passes today that were turned over. But it's like, isn't that kind of why you drafted him? It's because he can make the tough passes. So if he keeps turning it over on the tough passes, and it's like, can he actually? That's why I was very curious to see these full games from him, because obviously in my analysis of Kasparas, like, I'm watching the highlights. You know, even in my film breakdown that I did, I had someone comment and say, "Oh, Anthony, this is not true film analysis. You're just watching highlights." And yeah, he's right. But I'm not going to sit here and watch full Illinois film. I'll give you my actual game analysis when I watch these Heat games. And that's what we're starting to see so far. So, yeah, just not any of those great passes from Kasparas. Truthfully, all the things that you heard that he'd be great at, like getting to the rim, using his body to finish in the paint, making these nice passes, those are the stuff you haven't seen too much yet. But it's been the defensive stuff that I think has actually been pretty decent so far. But anyways, the Heat were down 14 at the third quarter, and then the fourth quarter really wasn't close at all. I did love, though, to start the fourth, you actually got a Kel'el Ware and Dane Danger lineup. Both of those guys playing together. Danger had a drop step dunk right off rip. Kel'el Ware was pretty good defensively, too. The Lakers hit a lot of tough layups over him, though. They had like 3 or 4 that they scooped up, like hit the top of the backboard, and then just dropped in. So, yeah, Ware got scored on a few times, but 9 times out of 10, those aren't going in. The Lakers just got lucky today because I think Ware did a great job affecting those shots. But it was nice to see him play next to Danger. One of the things that we discussed with those two is that I think they could play next to each other just because Kel'el Ware is now starting to try to stretch the floor a little bit more. So I do like kind of that 1-2 punch. You got Ware for more of the mobility, finesse, even though he'll dunk on you too. But then, of course, you got Dane Danger, who just wants to pound you inside. I hesitated saying that line, but I said it anyways. But that was really all for the game. The Heat ended up losing by about 20 points. So we'll get into the box score a little bit, talk a little bit more about each guy, and then we'll look at the Lakers a little bit too, because I think there's some interesting things there. So we'll start with, of course, Kasparas, Jakucionis. Only played 21 minutes tonight. So once again, just like the first game, Javonte Cook played more minutes than him. Myron Gardner played more minutes than him. Who else played? Bryson Warren played more minutes than him. And even Marcus Williams played more minutes than him too. I don't understand why you invest the first round pick in this guy and then play him less than the rest of these guys. Again, it's game 2. Every game of Summer League, guys will kind of get their own chance to shine. Like, for example, again today, we didn't see no Omar Ballo. We didn't see any Vlad Golden. They'll get their chance. Ware will sit a game, and then Ballo will play. And then maybe Danger will sit another game, and Vlad will get more minutes. So keep that into context as well. But Jakucionis, there's no reason he's not playing every single game 30 minutes each. I think he needs those reps more than anybody just because he is 19 years old. And you look to him to actually be a part of your rotation this upcoming season. So no excuse for the minutes, in my opinion, from Eric Glass. But obviously he wasn't great. Kasparas either. 4 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists. Did have 3 steals. So we talked about the defense a little bit. But then shot 0 for 3 today. So all 4 of his points, because he had 4 points, was all from the free throw line. The one thing I don't like either is he took 3 shots. All 3 of them were threes. Adam Simon was hyping up how they actually like his ability to drive and get it to the paint. That's something that I've noted as well. And he didn't even take any layups today. Didn't take any twos. So as much as I blame the coaching staff for not giving Kasparas the opportunity I think he deserves, I do think Kasparas needs to be a little bit more assertive offensively when he's out there. I mean, you're seeing Javonte Cook. That boy was not afraid to shoot. Bryson Warren, that guy's not afraid to shoot either. I think Kasparas needs to get in there and look for his own shot a little bit more in these upcoming games. And then, he had the 5 turnovers. So, 2 assists to 5 turnovers is obviously pretty poor, but he'll work on that going forward. Next guy we'll talk about is Bryson Warren. I forget if he played last game. Might have played a little bit, but he was very good today. The kid from Overtime Elite, 18 points, 3 of 6 from 3. Nice to see him shoot the ball pretty well. Javonte Cook had another solid game. He kind of got on a lot of people's radars after the first game. Seems to have some pretty decent offensive versatility on him. I feel like he forced a lot at the rim, got blocked quite a few times, but he's a fine player. I just don't think he has anything that sets him apart to have a chance at making the official roster. He'll be another guy that's along the lines of like Jamari Bouye, Javonte Cook. Y'all remember Javonte? Or not Javonte. This is Javonte Cook. Javonte Smart. The other Javonte the Heat had on the Summer League a couple of years back. Although I wasn't a fan of his. He was fine. But, just this small sample size of decent offensive players that will probably be good G League players or good overseas. I just don't think there will be real NBA players. But Javonte Cook was fine today. You also had a first game for Myron Gardner, 14 points for him, 6 of 9. He's very efficient. And then Kel'el Ware, 12 points, 3 rebounds, shot 4 of 10. Obviously he didn't do too much today, but like I said, I'm not going to really analyze Kel'el Ware's Summer League. Yes, you'd like to see him dominate, but I think he's more so just trying new stuff out there. And we'll see how he actually plays against NBA competition in a few months here. Off the bench here, Eric Stevenson followed up his strong shooting performance. I told a lot of Heat fans to temper their expectations because he was hot the first game. Kind of came back down to earth today. He was 2 for 9. Marcus Williams got you 5 points. Steve Settle. We didn't see Steve Settle the first game. Mini KD. But today he actually got some run. Only took, I think, 2 shots. Yeah, he hit a 3. So hopefully we see some more of him going forward. I'd really like to see him get a bigger offensive role because I think he's one of the most versatile offensive guys on this team. But then lastly, I saved the best for last. My guy, Dane Danger. The man had 13 points in 16 minutes, 6 of 7 from the field. and he does play angry. A couple of times he got the ball at like the mid-range, actually was able to blow past his defender, body him, finish for a layup. If you can get a step on your defender at his size, like 6'9", 270, yeah, they're not going to be able to block you when you got that body. You could just barricade them from out the way. I really like what I saw from Dane Danger today. Hopefully we see some Ballo and Golden in the next game, though, too. And then on the Lakers side of things, I really just want to shout out a couple of guys. Cole Swider, of course, Heat legend, the amazing Swider man, played excellent in the Lakers' first game, was very good today, too, with 20 points. Hopefully he can find a spot in this league. There's no doubt about it. He would be one of the best shooters in the league. Just has to kind of make sure he's not an absolute turnstile on defense, which is hard to judge in Summer League just because we've seen it in the NBA and he wasn't great. But he's 26, so this may be his last opportunity. Hopefully he sticks on somewhere. And then we'll shout out Bronny James. He only played 10 minutes. He was actually pretty good today. Darius Bazley, another more older guy in terms of Summer League. He was pretty good today. I thought he was an okay NBA player, so maybe he can make it back. We actually didn't see any Adu Theroux today, which is one of the draft picks I liked a lot. And then finally, we just had to talk about Dalton Connect. Struggled in the first game for the Lakers, struggled today. Only 4 points, shot 2 of 7. Maybe that's a good thing because I still like Dalton Connect, and now maybe the Lakers would be more willing to include him in a trade to the Miami Heat for Andrew Wiggins. Maybe they could attach a first-round pick as well. It's just, his trade value is now decreasing a little bit, meaning the Lakers might be more willing to give him up in addition to other things. I'm not saying I would trade Wiggins for Dalton straight up. I think Wiggins is worth more than that. But if you can get Hachimura and Dalton or Dalton and a first, I don't think you can get all three of those. But yeah, we'll see what happens. It is a little concerning. Dalton's a guy that should cook offensively, and we're just seeing him kind of struggle out there. But anyways, I believe that's really all I got to say for this video. The Heat's next Summer League game, I think they have a few days off this time before they run it back. So their next game will actually be Tuesday, July 8th, 7 p.m. versus the Warriors. So make sure y'all subscribe to the channel because we will be covering it. Leave your thoughts and comments down below because I'm very curious to hear what y'all think. Like the video and subscribe. I spent 17 minutes talking about the Summer League, which is way too much, so I'm going to get out of here. Peace out.
Look, pull up in your city trying to get that dead face. Do it on my own, I don't need no dead weight. Had to kill him off, yeah, I need a head space. You know this homegrown bitch don't offend me.